What we are going to talk about tonight is what I call road language. It's useful to understand that for you to be able to drive safely, you need to not only understand the road language, which comes from the markings on the road, the various street furniture, which is like traffic lights, bollards, and various other things, lines and things like that. It's almost like it's a different language. You know, if you wanted to speak to somebody who was completely deaf, you would probably learn sign language, and they would talk back to you in sign language. Now, when you're now on the road, the moment you start on the road, even as much as when you're walking, there are certain nuances that are really useful to know when it comes to road language. But it is important that they find little things that actually make a difference when you're driving, and especially if you're driving in areas you don't know. If you know these things that I'm going to be teaching tonight, they help you understand the actual traffic lights better. They help you understand what the signs really mean and various things like that. So I'm going to start the webinar. Now go. Everything you see on the road, these signposts, traffic lights, they're all these signals and markings are on the road. The actual markings mean something. There is a broken line, two broken lines with a hash marking in between, and you can see it on the picture. If you look on the picture that's on the screen at the moment, what does that mean? What do those two broken lines with the hash marking in the center mean? It means that's a central reserve area you are allowed to use in an emergency and if it is necessary. Now, knowing that information, at this stage, that's used as a divider, but it might be a central reservation for people to, when they're crossing, to actually use, or it might be for you if you are going to turn right. You could use a space like that. Maybe there's a bus or a truck or a car on the left-hand side, then you can use that space. So those are the sort of things you need to really know. Now, what happens if those are solid lines? The only time you are allowed to ingress into that area where you've got a hash marking with broken lines on either side is if that is an emergency. Not if it's necessary and not if it's safe. It's either if you need to and it's safe and necessary, that's broken. Solid means in an emergency and if it's safe. So you need to know those subtle differences. Now, often we see signs, and the thing is, we know what the sign means, but what does the sign actually tell us? The sign has a story to it. Every sign that is out there, I've got a sign here which is telling you there's a roundabout coming up that is going to follow this sign in about 200 to 300 meters from where you see the sign. This sign will be quite a substantial difference from where the roundabout is, but it's telling you something about the roundabout. What is it telling you about the roundabout? What is the roundabout that is coming up? Can you classify the roundabout from the sign, the hazard sign with the roundabout on it? It can be probably can even be one of those Dutch roundabouts we spoke about the other night, or it can be a spiral. It can be any roundabout. It can be a mini as well. It can be a multi-lane mini roundabout. You do get mini roundabouts that sometimes have two lanes going into the mini. But it could be anything. It's just a roundabout. That's all that sign is. So unfortunately, there aren't different signs for different. I think they should have a different sign for a spiral roundabout. And those are relatively new. They've been out around 10 years, but the highway code was written in 1935 and it's hardly been updated since. But that just means it's a roundabout. So this sign now serves for mini roundabouts as well. So it's important to know what it means, and to actually really get to know what the signs mean, what they do mean and what they don't mean, okay? Now, we've just had an example of people not understanding road language, because I've had multiple people write here for specific roundabouts. There was one that said warning roundabout, but then they added mini. That was what went wrong. Okay, so that's what road language is, the ability to understand what the limitations of the signs are as well. The signs don't always have a specific assignment, but sometimes they do, right? And we are going to look at what sign, and I'm just doing this to you so that you really know what the road language is.